Well, I think it's really important because from my experience, a lot of student athletes haven't had the communication channels to even talk about this topic, to even talk about the stresses of being a college athlete or the difficulties, because I think being a college athlete is often just seen as like the pinnacle. It's like you've made it, you know, you're an athlete, often you're a Division I athlete, and so a lot of the outside world can see it as like this fabulous, you know, top of the mountain experience, when the reality of it often has a lot of challenges. So my goal, my hope is to kind of open up that communication to realize that, yeah, student athletes, you know, they have those similar struggles that everyone has.
Just like the documentary about Maddie, it just really encouraged us that as student athletes, we go through a lot, and people don't understand like everything that we really go through and the things that we really think about and how to manage our time to be a student and to be an athlete. So I feel like that learning more about it and see someone else go through the same thing that we're going through, and it really just brought the light out to how serious it is.
It's very important because I feel like as student athletes, we're more susceptible to holding stuff in, and we're more susceptible to going through more stuff as far as the magnitude of it, because we have so much on our plate. So breaking that barrier and starting a conversation, it could really change a lot of people's lives and help a lot of people.
I mean, I hope student athletes just feel seen. That's the main goal, is not every student athlete who reads this book or, you know, hears me speak is going to fully relate either to Maddie's story or to what I'm trying to talk about, but I know some of them are going to relate, and hopefully the ones who relate, it changes them in some way about how they think about their experience as a student athlete or what they want out of it or any changes they might have to make. And for student athletes who might not fully relate to it in that moment, perhaps there's some small piece when if they hit an obstacle down the road, they've got some coping mechanisms and some insight.
Me just being here and just learning and taking some pointers from Kate has helped me to be a better teammate and a better friend to not only my teammates, but other student athletes or just other students here, period, you know, to really pay attention more to the signs and just try to help and, you know, start the conversation and try to reach out and help them.
I know it's starting to change. I mean, I think if you're just looking at the sports world, you can look at the NBA as an example and point to Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan, NBA All-Stars, who are now speaking openly about depression and anxiety. So I think that's the start of it. I mean, there's still those concerns that somehow like coaches will think of you differently, or, you know, if you look at the professional level, like there'll be ramifications in the free agency. So there's still those concerns and other discussions, and there's more time that has to pass before it's fully understood what sometimes mental health and the way it can impact athletes and everyday people. So I think it's changing. I think the reason that it's so difficult to talk about is because I think on a core level, people don't want other people to change how they look at them. And there's this concept that if people know that I'm struggling with any certain thing, that it'll change how they view me or, you know, what kind of trust they put in me. And I think that's something that we have to start to dispel, because everyone has something they're going through, and that doesn't make them weak in any way, and it makes them pretty strong to be able to talk about it.
Well, I think it's hard to be out in the open, just like Kate said, because people see it as a weakness and people see it as a way to quit, but really it's not quitting, it's just seeing what's better for you and doing what's best for you. And people don't understand that sometimes you get tired of the same old, so I just feel like it's just hard to like come out with it and just be public with it, because people will judge you in the wrong way.